Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to go through my neglected palettes so far for the year. We're in the midway point, and this is all the way up until the end of June. I have not gone into these palettes one time. Now, I have a lot of palettes. I have 81 palettes. If you watched my recent inventory video, I do have a lot of eyeshadow palettes. It is super high at the moment, but I do try to get through them all, right? And you know, I have a lot of eyeshadow pans, I do lots of projects, I do other types of projects where I'm not even trying to hit pan, I'm just trying to use my makeup. So I do make a concerted effort to really like hone in on what I own, and I'm not trying to buy palettes every single month, even though I do have quite a lot. Okay, so in today's video, we're gonna obviously go through my neglected palettes for the year. Even though I have a lot right in front of me, there is an awful lot. I am actually pleased because I have used more than half of my palette so far for the year, and we are at the midway point. So there's no doubt in my mind that I can't go through these palettes and use them more. I think that, you know, my use really counts as if I go into one shade in the palette at this point. This is just how I'm using it, so like no pan left behind, because that would be impossible because I have over 1,000 eyeshadow shades, so that would be ridiculous. But just on the palettes alone, yeah, I haven't used these at all to go into at least one shade. So let's get into it because there's quite a lot. Do you want to know the number? So I have 81 palettes like I've mentioned. There are 30 palettes here in front of me that I have not touched. That's a lot, but it's also less than half. So I've used more than half of the palettes in my collection. I feel like that's a win. That's a win, right? Please be here to say, yes, that's a win, Gabby, and then let's move on. Okay, let's go through because I think this is going to be quite a long one. But I'll just start with this one. So this is a palette that I got from Gourmande, but obviously I depotted a lot of shades. So we have Odin's Eye shades in here. We have one BH Cosmetics. The mattes are the original mattes that I had with this palette. I haven't gone into it yet this year. Obviously I did go into, I did this last year, and I did use it last year after I had rejigged it and frankened it, I guess, but I haven't gone into it all this year. So, you know, all of these are definitely priority for the next half of the year for me to use, because I want to, at the end of the year, say, I've gone into all of my palettes. And then I don't feel bad if I'm going to end up decluttering any of them because I'm not using them. If I declutter a palette that I'm using, I will feel good about it because I'll know I tried, right? That just makes sense to me. Okay, we have another one, a little small one here. This is Makeup Factory. This is the Gold Selection palette. And a lot of these palettes I have used. Some of these palettes in front of me are some of my favorite palettes in my collection. I just haven't gone into them yet. So it's not that I don't like these palettes, but this is very neutral, and we're actually hopefully trying to get to England at the end of the summer this year. So this is a really good like travel palette. So I'm hoping that I can just grab a couple of these to go with me. I don't want to grab like lots of big eyeshadow palettes to travel. But yeah, so you know, there's definitely palettes in my collection where I haven't used them, but I have plans to use them, you know? Another one that potentially could be a nice little travel palette is one of the Makeup Revolution Icon palettes. This is the Muse Icon. I'm surprised I've gone into the other two, to be fair, but I haven't gone into this one yet. This is my favorite. Actually, is it my favorite? I do like the other one. This is the first one I got. Actually, maybe this is my favorite. I do like this one. It's pretty cool tone. And, you know, I can't see myself not using this at some point this year. This one though, I feel like whenever I do these videos every single year, this one is always on the list. So this potentially could be a chopping block one. This is the Stargaze from NARS, and it's just dark. I really like it. I like the color story. This is a palette that I had asked for and it was gifted to me, so I wanted it. And then I don't use it. Like, what is wrong with me? I like it, and every time I use it, I'm like, oh, this is actually really nice, but it's just super wintry. So I don't ever think about pulling it, and that is more of a me thing. There's something going on with me, so I don't really know. I have a GlossGods here. This is the Let's Pop. It's the peach one. This palette I almost ended up depotting. and I still potentially could. It's just been sitting in there in my drawers, and you know, there's 3 beautiful shades. I really like, oops, don't fall. There's 3 beautiful shades right here, but I really don't care for these 2. But at the end of the day, I mean, is it worth depotting? It's only 5 shades. I just felt like, oh, I'll just keep it. But I haven't gone into that one yet this year. I also haven't gone into my Glaminatrix Nearly Natural. I did get this last year. I did do a decent amount of use, have a decent amount of use on it last year. But it was ultimately a palette that I was disappointed in overall. I think the quality is beautiful, but it doesn't give me the same feelings as the original one did, which obviously I don't have, so who am I to say, but it just didn't give me the same vibes. So that's a shame. I also haven't gone into my Makeup Revolution Dangerous Love. This is a palette that has been on the chopping block before. It was on the chopping block, I think, last year. And then I ended up using it and I was like, no, actually, I like the quality. And so I don't think it's on the chopping block. I just don't end up going into it. It's just, it's not a very exciting palette, but I think it's a good, like, solid palette in terms of Makeup Revolution for one thing, and just having it, like, I'm not at the point that I just want to get rid of stuff. I don't know, the hoarder in me is like, no, keep it all, so I've kept it all. Okay, moving on, we have my Naughty Nude from Huda Beauty. This was one of my Pan That palettes for last year, so it was definitely not neglected last year, but yeah, have I gone into it this year? No. No, I think what happens when I do a Pan That palette, I get so sick of the palettes that I don't ever touch them. Like, it happened with my Urban Decay, it's happened with this one. The Shadow Kiss is in this list too. I have not gone back into the Shadow Kiss, and that was also my Pan That palette last year. So there's just something about Pan That palettes where I've given you a year of my life. You can wait. So she's waiting, but no, I haven't gone into that one. This one I did actually use quite a lot towards the end of 2025, so I'm not that fussed. It was in my project level up and I got a lot of use on the shades. I ended up with 2 pans. So even though I haven't gone into it the last 6 months, I mean, you know, the 6 months have gone by so fast. Like, what is going on? So I feel like I just haven't had the time. But all of these are obviously priority for me, like I said. I also, oh no, this is the wrong one. I grabbed the wrong one. I haven't gone into the Air one. That was the blue one, which was the water one. This is another avatar from Lethal. And this one, same thing. I used so much of this last year and the year prior. I just haven't gone into it yet this year. I think this could be a Pan That palette contender, but at the same time, like for next year, but at the same time, I'm thinking, but I love this palette so much. I will be gutted if I finish up these shades. But I think it's small enough and cute enough, and I love these shades enough to be able to have it as a Pan That palette contender. I'm already thinking about this, like, next year. Like, this makes a lot of sense to me. I love this palette, but would I have to buy it again? If I did a Pan That palette and I used it all up, I would be so gutted. So yeah, I think it's like ultimately one of my favorite palettes, if not my favorite palette in my collection. So why would I want to finish it? You know, that's my thoughts on that. Anyway, I haven't used that one yet this year. I also haven't gone into the look for rainbows. I had this as my Pan That palette in order last year, so I got a lot of pans, and definitely not neglected at all in terms of my mind, but for this year it has been neglected because I haven't gone into it at all in the last 6 months. So, you know, it just goes to show 6 months can go by like that. I can't click my fingers. You know how everyone's going like this? This is like this new thing people do, which I don't quite get. I literally can't click my fingers, so I can't even be on trend if I wanted to be. Okay, the Gal on the Moon. So this one is fair. I think this one I do neglect. It is a really beautiful palette from GlossGods. It's all shimmer. I really wanted it. I got it to complete my collection. I don't have any negative thing to say about this palette, but I haven't gone into it yet this year, and that's my bad. I need to go into that one. Now this one hurts me to my core. This is another one where I'm like, that is my favorite palette in my collection, and I don't even have a pan in here. I just don't have anything. This is Gal on Jupiter, and it's just so cool tone and beautiful, and you know, I do have similar palettes with these, like I have other palettes with these similar shades. I really do, but these are like oomph, like in your face. Like this is very similar to the Shadow Kiss that I had last year. In terms of overall color story and the tones of the mattes and my overall feeling towards the mattes, I feel the same way towards these as I do with the Shadow Kiss. And you know, the Shadow Kiss, I really loved those mattes in that Pan Matte palette that I had last year. And they're both very, very cool tone with these sort of grayish, you know, taupees and it's just beautiful, very flattering shades in my opinion that I can wear all year round. So maybe it's just because I have two palettes that are the same, but these shimmers are so impactful versus the Shadow Kiss from Alter Ego. It's just not the same. And it breaks my heart that I have like been neglecting this one where it's just so gorgeous. Anyway, moving on, we got the Let's Get Nude. This is also from GlossGods. GlossGods is the brand that I have the most palettes from. I wouldn't say eyeshadow because I think ColourPop still beats it because I have tons of ColourPop singles at this point. But I think, yeah, GlossGods I have the most palettes from, for sure. And so it's a struggle to get through them all. But yeah, I haven't gone into that one yet this year. And I also haven't gone into my Sample Beauty Equalizer Volume 2. This one potentially is a contender for a declutter. Not to say that I don't like this palette, because I do. I just think the formula and the quality is going. And I haven't really been speaking about that, but I don't think it's lasting. So potentially this is one where maybe I would want to roll it into a Pan Matte palette so that, you know, it doesn't just, I don't feel it's wasted, because it's actually a really nice palette. I really like it. I think the formula is really pretty, and yeah, there's just something about it. I haven't gone into it all this year, so I kind of need to before I chuck it, basically. I also haven't gone into this one from Glamshop. I think this is the only Glamshop palette that I haven't gone into yet this year. I have 4, and I've gone into the other 3. But it's not neglected. Like I have pans in most of these. They're not like neglected for the most part. They've just been neglected for 6 months. Okay, that's just what I'm telling myself. Okay, that's what I'm telling myself. Okay, hold on, this stack is fallen, so let me just make sure it doesn't break. Okay, I haven't gone into this one. This is my MAC Star Sighting palette, and again, I have two pans in here. It'd be really nice to go into this, but for me, this is like almost like a Christmas New Year's palette. It's a Christmas edition, and I know it's silly. I always say there's no need to have palettes that are seasonal, but I look at this and I'm like, oh, that's seasonal. But then I look at this shade and I'm like, oh, no, but I can wear that in the summer. That's like one of my favorite shades. So yeah, I need to shut up and wear my makeup. Then I also have Natasha Denona Retro. So this one I don't feel like is neglected. I have a couple pans. I did try to hit pan in the shade, and I think it's impossible, so I gave up. I like this palette, but it's a palette that, you know, there's not a lot of versatility with it, like variety. It's just all very mauvey and pink, which actually I'm kind of into right now, so I probably should go into that one. I also haven't gone into my Moonshroom from Lunar Beauty yet this year, but I did go into it last year, and it's just one of these palettes where, you know, it's just there, you know. I don't think about it too much, and then sometimes during the year I'm like, oh no, I really want to go into that color story, and I do, so I just haven't got to that point yet. This is one where I can see that it is actually starting to be neglected, the Gal on Venus, but I do feel as though it's not a palette that I can wear all year long. Okay, it's from GlossGods again. And as you can see, it's very, 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 very bright and very, very warm. And, you know, I can see myself wearing this now, but am I going to wear this? Actually, this could also be for Christmas. I don't know. I'm like convincing myself to wear all these. But yeah, it's hard. I only have one head. So like, how many times can I put my makeup on? It's just hard, okay? Okay, I haven't gone into this one. This one I do think is neglected. This is the Neutrals. This was one of my Pan Matte palette contenders for this year, and it just didn't get many votes. And I kind of wish it had, because I was wanting to use this palette this year. I'm wanting to use it more, quite frankly. It's neutral, but it has a lot of warmth, and I think I would have had a good amount of use on it, honestly, by now. Had it been voted my Pan That palette for this year, I think I would have had tons of pans and it would have been really exciting. And I do think I could have used this palette, honestly, with every single look, just because of the tones of some of these brands. I could incorporate it with other palettes, but it wasn't picked. Again, I'm not blaming you, but you know, these things happen. I do have a pan in here, but for the most part, I have neglected this one. I did get it last year. So it's about a year old now in my collection, so I do need to put a little bit more time and use on that one. This one I think is a mistake, because I feel like I have gone into this one this year, so this potentially could be a mistake, because I think I have, but then maybe I thought I was going to, and then I ended up going into a different shade, right? This is Cosmic Beauty Delicious Delights, and I thought I'd gone into one of these pinks, but I haven't written it down that I've gone into this, so maybe I haven't. Again, this is a palette that I have ended up using as a companion palette, even though I've done looks with this palette, just with this palette alone, and they are stunning, and I really, really like this palette. I have nothing bad to say about it, but honestly, when I do look at it compared to some of my other Cosmic Beauties, it does look neglected. So I need to get more use on this one overall, but it's just a really fun palette, and sometimes it's fun to just go into this for a pop of pink, pop of blue, because they have such good shades in this palette. And it's like my only rainbow palette. That's the only type of rainbow palette that I have in my collection. So I don't know, I really like it, but I guess overall it's just not a palette that I go into all the time, but it also hasn't been rolled into a project. So that also counts for something. Anyway, let's move on. I've got the Essence Circle of Life. Now this potentially could be decluttered from my collection. I know I'm not going into this. I know I don't really have any intention of going into this. I do like some of these shades though, I really do. It's not a palette that I don't like. It's just not as good as other formula in my collection, so other palettes are just getting use out of, aside from this one, right? And I think I'm just keeping it in my collection so I have something from Essence at this point. I don't know, like a reference point maybe. I would like to use this more because I do remember liking this shade. I also tried to hit pan in this Pride Lands and it just never happened, so I kind of gave up. I don't want to give up on palettes. Like, you know, when it's like this, it's not like I spent loads of money on this. I haven't, but I don't like giving up on palettes. So that's why I'm like, do I want to keep it? Do I want to declutter it? It is in the chopping block too, kind of like if I were going to declutter something, I probably would go, but I don't need to declutter yet. That's what I'm telling myself. Anyway, moving on, we have this one, Avocado Toast. Now, this one I did declutter last year and then I brought it back and I just don't use it. So why do I have it? Like why? Like why did I bring it back to just not use? So I think that, I think this is a weird one for me because there's some really pretty shades in here. So I don't know what I'm doing with this palette. I don't know. I just don't have any sense to go into this. But I do like it because I decluttered it, then I used it in a look and I liked it. So I'm just like, what is wrong with me? I have too much. Then I haven't gone into this one, which is one of my favorite palettes in my collection. This is from ColourPop. It's the Foolish Mortals from the Haunted Mansion. I really love this palette. I don't think you can get it anymore. It was like obviously a special and then they brought it back. So I got it on the second release and it's just, I think it's a really nice ColourPop palette. Is it indie quality? No, but I think it's a really, really nice for ColourPop. I really like the tones. Again, it's cool tone and it's winter. So like, why would I have gone into it by now? It's summer. I don't want to go into it, but I'm sure there's no doubt in my mind I will go into that palette this year. The Canyon. This is from Alter Ego. I love this palette. And I did lose quite a bit of use on this one when I was tracking all my eyeshadow uses. I know I lost a bit of use on this one. And this is beautiful. I should actually use this summer because I really do like the tones. It's warm tone, it's rusty, it's got a lot of warmth, but then also it could be good for autumn as well. I really like this palette. It's just, I have too much at the moment and I just haven't ended up going into it yet this year, but I like it. And then I spoke about my Shadow Kiss, but here it is. This was one of my Pan That palettes last year, like I mentioned. and I got a lot of use. I got so much use. I had no pans in this one last year, and then I suddenly had all these pans. And I do find Alter Ego hard to hit pan on. Like, it takes a lot of uses to hit pan. So it's not one of these GlossGod palettes where it takes me like 5 uses and I've hit pan. No, this is like a steady, like, you literally have to work on it. So I feel good about how much use I have on this palette, but I haven't used it this year. Again, it's like, I gave you so much love last year. Just hold on. I don't need you right now. You know, I thought, because I was using this one in my eyebrows pretty much all last year, almost all last year. I thought I was going to continue that, and I haven't. I haven't continued it. Maybe I should, because I don't know, my eyebrows are looking funky these days, but whatever. Potentially I'll get back into it, but it just hasn't been a habit, I guess. I haven't got back into the habit of doing that, so that's why that one has been neglected. I also haven't gone into my Norvina from ABH. I have so much use on this, and it would be really nice to just like continue, get more pans. It's such an old palette of mine in my collection, and it would be nice, but I've neglected it. I know this one is being neglected. I think definitely for the last 2 years I have been neglecting it, so what to do. Again, I feel like this one could be one that I would have to declutter if I used it, because I don't know if these work, you know? So I need to, I need to either roll these into projects or just use them randomly at some point over the next 6 months, you know? I got some time, but again, it goes by so fast, so who knows? And see if I can get some use on it. And then we also have another ABH. This is the Jackie Aina. This is definitely one of my oldest palettes now that I have. And I really don't have too much use on definitely certain shades, because it's not overall like my favorite color story, but I think the formula and the quality in this has stood the test of time. It is so beautiful. And I say that I haven't gone into it this year. I know I went into it a little bit last year and I had no issues with it. And I just like having it. It's like almost a moment in history, this one for me. So, you know, even if the formula went, I might just keep it regardless. So I don't really know, but I think the formula is still good on that one. And then last but not least is my Aurora Struck. This could be another mistake. I think I might have gone into this at the beginning of the year, but I don't have it written down. So this is my version of it, because I did swap out a few ColourPop shades to make it more colorful. It was just too dark and dreary for me. So mine is a lot more colorful. And this was a Pan That Palette contender for this year, and it didn't get many votes. It didn't get many votes. And maybe you were all saving me from a really massive headache, because this might have been really, really challenging, or it might have been really fun. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, this looks so much fun for me. This looks so much fun. But then if I want to just do like a normal neutral look, I literally only have one neutral shade there. So, I mean, I have these three, I guess. But yeah, I think this would have been so much fun as Pan That Palette, but you guys did not vote for it. I'm not putting the blame on you, but I am putting the blame on you, and that's why I haven't got into it. It's your fault. So anyway, those are all 30 palettes that I have not yet gone into this year. But like I said, I have 81. So 30 out of 81 is less than half. So I feel like I'm doing pretty decently. I'm doing okay. The numbers are looking okay. It's still a lot though to get through. And even if I just go into one shade out of all of these, then I'll be done, right? So that's kind of overall my goal, but obviously I want to get more use in other ones. But yeah, anyway, I just thought it's always fun to see where we are mid-year, and I feel like I'm on track. I actually feel pretty decent about this, even though I have so much. I think it can be good. It can get really overwhelming when you have so much and you don't go into the makeup that you have. But I feel happy with where I am. So that's where we are. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.